Basically Pokemon. Anything Pokemon has been very good for us.
It's estimated 1 in 5 children will find Pokemon something under the Christmas tree. As kids keep collecting,
when it comes to the biggest Pokemon craze, it has to be the trading cards. Just how long will this fad last? Retailers hope well into the holiday shopping season.
If you collected Pokemon cards in the late 90s to early 2000s, you probably owned one of these cards. What's up guys, in today's video we're going to be going over some of my favorite cards from my childhood, looking at the base set, jungle, and fossil sets to begin with. I may do further sets later on in other videos, but I really wanted to go over why certain cards mean so much to me and talk a little bit about the story behind why they mean a lot, the memories, and so on, just to give you a bit of backstory for each card, because it may be the same for a lot of you guys, but sometimes when you look at a specific card, it's not so much just the card and the artwork that you like, but also all the memories that are attached to that specific card. And what I'd like you guys to do is, if you have any cards where you have a really strong attachment to it, you let me know in the comments down below, and I will be replying to all your comments. So let me know in the comments down below why a certain card or several cards mean a lot to you. And I would like to hear the story just behind, a little bit about why it means a lot, what happened, what created that strong memory and link to that card for you. Without any further ado, let's get right into it. What up? Welcome back to PoKaching. I hope you guys are all doing well. My name's Tom. Welcome to the channel. So we're going to get started with the Fossil Set, taking a look at the most nostalgic card for me. Just to begin with, we're only going to do a few cards per set because I'm only going over the cards that really mean a lot to me. And the first card is the Aerodactyl Holo card. Now, as a kid, I actually never owned this card. I saw it at some sort of indoor flea market type thing where there was a vendor who had opened a bunch of packs. Didn't really know much about Pokemon actually, because when I asked him, I remember him, and I was 7 years old at the time. So for me to remember this is just kind of goes to show how much certain memories are really like engraved. And when I asked him like, oh, how'd you get this card? Or how did you get that? He said, oh, I just opened up those packs and I got that inside. And he showed me Team Rocket packs, but the Aerodactyl does not come in Team Rocket, so I remember that very clearly. I didn't know it as a kid, obviously I wouldn't have been able to tell you which cards come from what set, but that card, when I saw it, just the pose is really cool, really kind of coming at you, and the kind of weird swirly palm tree type things in the background. I just really liked that card. The artwork really drew me in, the holofoil pattern, everything just kind of drew me in, and I just thought, you know, that's such a badass card. And to this day, it is my favorite card from the Fossil set. So yeah, that's the brief story of why I really like Aerodactyl. The second most nostalgic card for me from the Fossil set is actually the non-holo Gengar rare card. So a lot of you are probably thinking, why don't you prefer the holo card? Well, the non-holo Gengar card, I remember seeing that as a kid, and it was actually a friend of mine that had it when I lived in the US, because I didn't live in the US for very long. I only lived there for 2 years, but that's where I discovered Pokemon. And my friend had this card and he actually traded it to me. I can't remember what he traded it for, but I just thought, you know, Gengar looks so badass, and his eyes kind of like, I don't know if you noticed on the card, or I don't know if it's done on purpose, but his eyes kind of look like they're kind of out of sync. They're not pointing in the same direction, like one's pointing kind of this way and one's pointing more up the way. I don't know if that's deliberate or if it's just maybe the perspective of the card that makes it look that way, but that's kind of how I saw it. And I always thought this card looks so badass, and the texture on the Gengar, the actual Pokemon, it looks like he's got like weird lines on him. And it almost looked like he was physical rather than like a shadowy type Pokemon. And I just thought that was so cool. And that card and Gengar as a Pokemon overall, like for a lot of you guys, it's probably the same thing. It's just a very nostalgic Pokemon, and I absolutely love that card. And for the final card from the Fossil set that really means a huge amount to me is the holofoil Moltres card. So this card I actually traded for. It was in the bus coming back from school. So what actually happened at school is that Pokemon cards got banned, so we weren't really allowed to have them anymore because it was causing too many issues, you know, people trading or people stealing, or you know how kids are, they just do whatever, and sometimes it can be a bit complicated to deal with. And so Pokemon cards were banned at school, but don't worry guys, I always had a binder in my backpack and I was ready to trade as soon as I got on the school bus, because technically we weren't in school anymore. And we did all sorts of trades in the school bus, and it was always like a really cool time. Every time I finished school, I was so excited to get in the bus and trade some cards with all the people that were there, all the other kids. And yeah, I traded, I don't remember what once again, because I was so focused on the Moltres, but I actually traded something for this card, and I just thought it looked so cool with the kind of black background with the like fiery swirls. I just thought it looked insane, and yeah, it's a really strong memory. I actually remember, you know, what the bus was like, who I traded it from, or who traded it to me, and yeah, man, that was a really cool memory. So that Moltres is number 3 on my list for the Fossil Set. Now we are moving on to Jungle. So like I said, I'm only mentioning the cards that really mean a lot to me. There are so many incredible cards in these sets, and pretty much every single one of them is nostalgic to me, but there are some that just have that extra bit of nostalgia, those really strong memories, and cards that really, really drew me in. Like when I looked at them, I was like, whoa, that's amazing, that looks insane, that's so cool. There are a few cards like that that really, really captivated me as a kid. And the first card, the number 1 card in the Jungle set, is actually the holofoil Pinsir. Now, I just thought the pose of this Pokemon just leaping out of the tall grass there, and the kind of background has some like reddy green tints to it. I just absolutely loved this card. I remember it was a girl from school that traded it to me, and you know, I was talking about it with my mom. I was showing my mom, who probably didn't care that much about Pokemon cards, but she still listened to me because, you know, obviously I was really excited about it. And we were leaving school, so my mom came to pick me up, and my sister, and I was looking at this card walking through the parking lot, and it was like reflecting in the sunlight. You know, Houston, Texas was a pretty sunny area, apart from when you got like big storms and so on, but yeah, really, really cool card, and I really love seeing all the like the star foil pattern like reflecting in the light, and I remember spending a lot of time looking at that card. So that's why Pinsir holofoil from the Jungle set is number 1 for the Jungle set for me. Now my second favorite card from the Jungle set has to be the Rhydon uncommon card. So whenever I saw 100 HP or 100 damage on a Pokemon card, I always thought it was like the best Pokemon card, and I think a lot of kids probably thought the same. And when I saw this Rhydon, first of all, Rhydon is such a badass Pokemon. He's running at you, he's charging at you. The landscape in the background is blurred because he's running so fast towards you. There's like rocks shooting out towards you, and he has 100 HP. So obviously I was like, damn, this card is awesome. I just love the colors in the background. I just think that card looks absolutely insane. And I wish I had these cards in person to show you. Unfortunately, I don't have them anymore. I did own all of these cards about 8-9 years ago. I had, you know, Base, Jungle, Fossil, absolutely pretty much complete with all the holos graded in 9s or 10s. It's really quite sad when you think about it that I don't have them anymore. But maybe one day, who knows, I will be able to buy them again. If there are any booster boxes that I would love to buy and open on the channel, it would be Base, Jungle, and Fossil. But yeah, I don't know, maybe that'll happen one day. If I can manage that, if someday I can do that, I will do that and open it with you guys. But we'll see. But that is a promise, okay? That is a promise, so mark my words. If one day I can live off of doing Pokemon on YouTube, if I can make enough money or use my investment smartly to be able to buy these boxes again, I will open them on the channel for you guys, for me, to enjoy it together. And that is a promise that if I can, I will. Trust me on that one. If I can, I will. So yeah, that Rhydon card is a very nostalgic card. I did spend a lot of time looking at it. My dad was working in the oil industry at the time, and I remember after school we actually went to where he worked. I think it was near, I can't remember exactly what it looked like, but there was also, I don't know if there were ships there or something, I can't remember. There was all sorts of big machinery and so on all around us. I actually was able to sit inside a big crane with one of the crane operators, and he let me pull a lever just to move the crane around. So that was a really cool memory. So very cool guy. I can't remember who that was, but very nice guy to let me do that. It was someone that my dad knew, obviously, from work. But yeah, that was the day where I got that Rhydon, and I really do remember that day and that moment. I just can't remember exactly what the setting was. I just do remember a lot of machinery and so on being around me, and, you know, driving a crane, or not actually driving a crane, but moving the crane around, and it was a big crane. So that was a really cool memory. So yeah, Rhydon is number 2 for the Jungle Set for me, and number 3 is the Pikachu from the Jungle Set. So this card I saw, it was in a small store. I don't remember where we were. We were with my parents. It was on a weekend, I believe, and we were in a store, and there was someone in the store, so one of the owners or someone that worked there, that was actually selling Pokemon cards as well. So they had a big binder full of cards, and the Pikachu was 50 cents. And so at the time, that's probably a lot for a single card, but that was at the time. You know, Pokemon hype was pretty real there, and it was a Pikachu, so, you know, if it was 50 cents today, you probably wouldn't bat an eye, you'd just buy it. But yeah, I remember this card really strongly. My dad bought it for me. He didn't really want to spend much on Pokemon cards, because I think, like a lot of parents, they saw their kids going absolutely crazy over this stuff, and they thought, yeah, maybe we shouldn't be spending too much money on it. They're just pieces of cardboard. Obviously, nowadays, people's sentiment and the way they look at Pokemon cards is completely different, because we can see the potential that you can actually make money from this stuff. But yeah, back in the day, it was just, you know, kids being obsessed with it, and it wasn't much more than that. It was really, you know, the Pokemon craze was real, but it was really just kids, maybe a few adults, maybe a few teenagers, but mostly kids. Anyway, that's it for the Jungle Set. So those are my favorite cards from the Jungle Set. Now we're going to be moving on to the big bad boy, the Base Set. Now for Base Set, there is no real surprise here, and I know it's kind of unoriginal, but Charizard Holofoil was my favorite card from the Base Set. It was almost like a myth, like having a Charizard or seeing a Charizard. It was like such a crazy thing as a kid, and I never owned this card as a kid. I owned multiple copies. I actually had a PSA 10 that I pulled from a pack, that from a box that I opened, that I sent to PSA, and I sold it. Sad, I know. I wish I had it still, but at the time I sold it for a decent price. Now it's obviously worth a ton more, but it's not all about money. It's mostly that I just kind of wish I still had the card. But maybe one day I'll own another one. I really hope I will. But yeah, Base Set Charizard was the mythical Pokemon card that every kid really wanted. And yeah, I had a friend that had it. He bought it for like $50, I believe, at some kind of convention or like a flea market or something like that. I can't really remember, but I remember him showing it to me. He had it in his pocket, and it was in art class at school. And he was sitting in front of me. We were all sitting on the floor listening to the teacher because she was presenting something to us. And he had it behind his back, and he just showed it to me. And I was like, whoa, man, a Charizard, like that's a crazy card. And that memory is engraved in my mind. And when I saw that card, the fact that I didn't own it and that I saw someone else that had it, and that I'd heard so much about it, and Charizard, you know, is such a badass Pokemon. There's a good reason why a lot of people like him. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, holy crap, that card is insane. I wish I had it. And I didn't have it as a kid, but owned it later on. Now, the second most nostalgic card from the base set for me is the Holofoil Zapdos. So, this card was traded to me by the son of my dad's friend from work. So one evening, my parents went with their parents to go out for dinner, and so we stayed at their house. So my sister and I stayed with their two sons, and one of them traded me a Zapdos, and I think I traded a Raichu for it. And yeah, that Zapdos card, I spent a lot of time looking at it. Once again, you know, it does 100 damage with his Thunderbolt attack, so when I saw 100, I thought, man, this card is absolutely crazy. And I really did like the dark blue kind of holofoil on the back, and obviously Zapdos is a legendary bird, so I really, really like that card. And finally, number 3 from the base set would be Arcanine. So I absolutely loved Arcanine as a Pokemon, a fire-breathing dog tiger thing with 100 HP, of course. Once again, I love this card. I thought it looked so cool. The fact that it had 100 HP, obviously, attracted me and got my attention as a kid. And I just really like the card. And I know it's very simple detail, but you know the kind of red aura that's around him. I always used to love how they did that with Pokemon. They'd often have like some sort of aura of a certain color around them, and that kind of made them stand out from the rest of the card. And I did really, really like this card. Absolutely love Arcanine. It's probably one of my favorite Pokemon to this day. It's on my YouTube banner, guys. I absolutely love Arcanine. So that's it, guys. Those are my top under top 5, let's like top 3 or 4, I can't remember how many I said for each set, but from Base, Jungle, and Fossil, those are my favorite and most memorable cards. They mean a lot to me. I have so many memories that are really clear that are attached to those cards specifically. There are many other cards that I have strong memories attached to those cards, but those are the ones that are the strongest, and those are the ones that I want to mention in this video. So once again, guys, please, please, please comment down below. Let me know what cards or which cards mean the most to you, and let me know the story of why they mean a lot to you, and I will reply to your comments. I love hearing these kinds of stories, so it's something that I'm really interested in. And I wanted to make this video because I'm kind of sick and tired of just hearing about the money and hearing about how there's nothing available and how things are so expensive. I know things are getting a bit better, but it's getting to a point where I just want this channel to be about collecting cards and appreciating cards and just enjoying how we enjoyed it as kids, you know, like, I don't know how to say it, but I have so many strong memories, and I know a lot of people are the same, and I just find it kind of sad that right now everything's all about money and greed. And I know I have some stuff that I set aside for investments, but you know, I find it kind of sad, the whole scalping situation with people going in stores and buying, and I know that's getting better, things are being resolved there, and just the prices overall, it's just, I don't know, man. If you don't have much money, or if you can't buy or spend hundreds on a sealed product, I feel like the Pokemon TCG isn't enjoyable for many people, which is kind of sad. It's a shame, and I can't wait for things to get back to normal. But I want this channel to be about memories, about fun, about actually appreciating the cards and being, you know, talking about the collecting side of things. And that's why I wanted to make this video. And maybe I'll do the other sets. We'll see. If you guys are interested, I'll do other sets. I'll go through Team Rocket, Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge in the next video. And then maybe I'll do the Neo series. And I won't go much further than that because I didn't really collect anything after the Neo era until the EX era. But I could talk about that as well, I guess. But yeah, these ones are the ones that mean the most to me. And yeah, so that's it from me, guys. I'm going to stop talking now. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you kind of enjoyed the small stories for the cards that I actually remembered stories, you know, for the cards that I showed. And I hope this video kind of brought you back a little bit and maybe got you thinking about what cards really meant a lot to you as a kid. And you can share that with me in the comments. So if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye!